Most people think hacking is some genius typing fast in a dark room. It's not. And once you understand how hackers actually think, you start seeing the internet very differently. So in this video, I'm going to break down how hackers really get into websites, the common methods, the psychology behind it, and why it works. Because the same knowledge used to attack is the knowledge used to defend. Okay, so how do hackers actually hack websites? First method, brute force. This is where a hacker points a tool at a login page and starts guessing thousands of passwords per second, over and over, until something works. One tool hackers love is Burp Suite. It intercepts your login request, reads it like an open book, then starts cycling through password combinations so fast and terrifying. Another tool is Hatch. It's a Python-based tool that builds a fake mirror of a website and hammers it with login attempts. Slower, but surgical. Perfect for targeting individual accounts. That is how your friend's Instagram got mysteriously hacked. Here's the part people underestimate. The most powerful hacking tool ever created is not a tool. It's social engineering. This is when a hacker manipulates a person to hand over their own passwords willingly instead of attacking the system. You've probably experienced it already. A call pretending to be from your bank. An urgent email from IT support. Hackers understand fear and urgency. They create pressure. And under pressure, people don't think clearly. That is social engineering. Now here's where it gets wild. What if I told you hackers can find usernames and passwords using Google? Not the dark web, not some secret tool, just Google. It's called Google Dorking, and it uses advanced search commands to dig up files that were accidentally left public. Spreadsheets, config files, login credentials. Sites like ExploitDB host thousands of these dork commands, submitted by actual hackers and security researchers. You pick one, paste it into Google, and suddenly, you're looking at files a website accidentally left exposed. Completely legal to search, but dangerous in the wrong hands. Now, let's talk about one of the oldest and most devastating attacks in history. SQL injection. Here's how it works. A website asks for your name, you type it in. Then the website takes that input and runs it through its database to pull up your info. But what if instead of your name, you typed in code? Suddenly, the database gets confused. It thinks it's receiving a valid command. And just like that, it hands over everything. Usernames, passwords, credit cards, and private messages, all of it, in seconds. Hackers use tools like Burp Suite and OWASP Zap to find these weak spots. Then they fire in injection scripts, some as simple as a single quote, and watch the database crack open like an egg. But sometimes hackers are not after one account. They want the entire server. If they find a file upload vulnerability or code execution flaw, they can inject something called a reverse shell. The moment that code executes, that's when the server opens a connection back to the hacker's machine. Attackers use tools like Netcat to open a connection and control the server directly from their own machine. Now, not every hacker wants to steal data. Some just want to take a website down. That's where DDoS attacks come in. A distributed denial of service attack floods a server with massive traffic until it crashes. These attacks have taken down banks, government sites, and major corporations. So if you enjoyed the video, smash that like and subscribe for more.